This is the Kymco People S 200. I have put 12,000 kilometers on this bike, and I will tell you about it in more detail. In mostly city driving, it gets 30 kilometers per liter or 70 miles per US gallon. The speedometer is inaccurate and will show a top speed of 102 kilometers an hour. However, when used with a GPS, the top speed is really 88 kilometers per hour. The top speed is a bit of a disappointment, as a bike of this size should go a little faster. Part of the speed problem is the size of the engine. The label says 200, but it really has a 163cc engine. The engine does provide good power and acceleration up to around 80 kilometers an hour, and will have no trouble keeping up with traffic up to that speed. The automatic transmission works well and gives good performance. I changed the belt at 10,000 kilometers. It is fairly easy to replace yourself, and most backyard mechanics should be able to do this without difficulty. The brakes work well and bring the bike to a stop smoothly. The brakes are showing only limited wear and should last a long time. The rear drum brake will develop a squeal if braking force is kept low. If you hear it squeal, you should apply the rear brake harder. This will make the squeal stop. The battery is behind this cover here on the floor. Now, in cold weather, you will find that the battery has a tendency to die and run out of power if the bike is left sitting for a week or so, in which case you're going to need that kickstart. The front shocks do a poor job of absorbing bumps. After a long ride, my hands can be sore from repeated pounding because the shocks really don't absorb much in the way of impacts. Fortunately, the rear shocks work well, and ride is comfortable with preload at the weakest setting. The electric start works quite well. To use the kickstart, the back of the bike must be on the ground like this while on the center stand. The problem for this bike is this rubber wheel. It is a bumper on the center stand, and it'll fail at about 1,000 kilometers. You'll know it fails because the engine sounds twice as loud as it's supposed to be, and the reason why is this bumper is to protect the center kickstand from the engine, and the extra noise you hear is the kickstand banging against the engine. I've made up my own replacement rubber wheel using webbing, and it works much better than the original. This is the CDI module. It failed at around 11,000 kilometers, and that required a $200 tow truck and then a $500 repair bill to get it repaired. Apart from this, this is the only real repair we've had to do on this bike. The seat shape is a bit uncomfortable. This dish shape tends to slide the rider forward a bit, and on long trips this can be a problem. In conclusion, I recommend this scooter, and I would buy another one.